2 markers. Ty Fisher going to have to come from the tail of the field. Who's going to step up here in the wet? We don't want to stereotype them, but the British drivers are always good. So let's see what Harry Moss and Harley Keeble can do. A number of these veteran drivers know how to get around in the wet as well. Joao Vergara will lead them to the line. As you can see, a single file start. They'll come out at turn number 13. This is where you got to watch wheel spin. A little bit of a river coming across the track. Watch those rear of the cars slipping. And away we go. Big jump for Keeble from the further back in the field. He gets a great drive from P7. Vergara's going to lead him through the inside. But look at this big run around the outside. Liam Loiacono. The outside line we know is quicker. Loiacono takes the lead out of turn number 1 for the first time. Rain lights are on. Loiacono in the advantageous front spot. No spray, the best visibility of any driver on the racetrack. Vergara going to pitch to the inside. He'll try to diamond the corner. Down to the bottom goes Oliver Weldon in that Cambridge machine, the car for VRD Racing. Again, big run out here. Loiacono. Weldon looking for that first victory. Will it come in the wet here at Mid-Ohio? 20 laps of racing, 3 already complete under the yellow flag. And I'll tell you, folks, if you're in that spray, you can't see a thing. You're looking at the rain light blinking on the back of the gearbox, the rear attenuator for these cars. What you see here is limited visibility. When you're actually in the car, John, and you've driven before, zero. You cannot see anything.
And look at Keeble all the way up to second from starting outside of row 3. The British driver, as we suspected, has got good skills in the wet.
Yeah, and again, British driver, a lot of times when you're karting in England, you're going to deal with a lot of wet weather. It's just the nature of the weather system there in England, and these young karters. And we're not talking about a karter who's just a club racer. Harley Keeble's raced at the international level, the highest level, world championship level. This guy is an unbelievably skilled driver, making his debut here for Jay Howard Driver Development. He's actually the driver coach for Jay Howard's karting team as well. So much experience, a great opportunity for Keeble to show what he has right now. But it's Loiacono leading the way. Weldon runs in, I believe, the second spot. We'll reset the grid for you when they come back around. There's Loiacono. No, it's actually Loiacono than Keeble. He was so far forward there. So Loiacono and Keeble. Jay Howard runs 1-2. Weldon in third. Vergara drops to fourth. Scorpione fifth. Attila in sixth spot. The Gonzalez brothers, Rodrigo and Patricio, run 7th and 8th. Thomas Nordquist up into 9th already. Great start for Nordquist, +3 on the start. And Hudson Parter rounds out the top 10. Ty Fisher coming, I think Ty may be still at the tail of the field. In fact, Guillot and Ty know there's a driver off. That's the 7 of Keeble. Keeble off the racetrack. He's going to get followed right through by one of the Gonzalez brothers. That's down in turn. Is that the keyhole?
Keyhole, top of the hill. Yep.
So top of the hill. A couple drivers have overcooked it and gone off the racetrack. Harley Keeble, an impressive run to second. And he puts it in the wall on the outside of turn number 2. That will 100% bring out the full course yellow, and it is being sent. There you have it. Our first stoppage of play, 4 laps in, and that shakes everything up. Ty Fisher did not come around either. That is huge for the championship chase. Not sure what happened to Ty. We have not been able to get any notice on him, but there is Harley Keeble. And listen, he was pushing hard.
Sure.
We picked him up at one point there, coming down. I think it was into turn 4, and he was really hustling the car. He had a big wiggle there. The other driver involved, the number 18, who's off the racetrack too, Rodrigo Gonzalez. Rodrigo joined me in the pre-show. So when the visor's up, that's when you know they're stuck or high-centered. So obviously he's in the gravel. He's going nowhere. Keeble buried in the barrier as well. Tough one for Harley Keeble. You know, when you run the ragged edge like that in conditions like this, John, it doesn't take much to just go a little bit over and you can't bring it back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he made such a great move at the start, going from 6th to 2nd, and probably confidence was sky high, pushing it just a little bit harder each lap. That time, as he got up to the top of the hill there at the keyhole at turn 2, left his braking a little bit too late and just right straight off the track into the barriers.
So let's reset for you. Loiacono is the leader. Weldon second. Vergara moves up into third. Scorpione fourth and Attila in fifth. Pato Gonzalez in sixth spot. Thomas Nordquist up into seventh. He's +5 now. Hudson Potter eighth. Brendan Cooley ninth and JT Hoskins in the 10th position. 11th, Connor Aspley. 12th, Emma Scarborough. 13th, Matan Achitov. 14th, Kaylee Countryman ahead of Michael Succo. 16th, Harry Moss. 17th, Matty Colleran. 18th, Diego Guiat. 19th, Harley Keeble. Of course, Keeble, Gonzalez, and Ty Fisher off on that lap as well. There's the 2 cars of Fisher, or rather of Keeble and Gonzalez, but we have not yet picked up on the 37 here. And I'm looking down to see if he's in the pits. He's not. So somewhere on the racetrack, we have lost Ty Fisher as well. Tough start. And you think about the fact, I think there was enough of a gap for Keeble. It's not like he was dealing with visibility issues.
Right.
It's a very interesting corner, John, when you come up, because it's obviously you're kind of climbing up the hill. Anytime you're going up the hill into a braking zone, it's going to compact and shorten the braking zone because you obviously have the gravity of coming up the hill as well. But again, early in the run, his second lap at speed, just misjudging the braking and the speed coming into the corner because you saw the car didn't spin. It went straight off. He probably locked the wheels up straight off and nosed it into the wall. I hate that for Harley Keeble because, of course, a good run yesterday for him, and I would love to have seen him come away with a solid result here as well.
Yeah, he looked pretty dejected as he was walking back to the safety vehicle. Tip of the hat to him. He put it out there, but unfortunately just got caught out by these tricky conditions. Like you said, this track is challenging in wet weather conditions. And
I mentioned the fact that we were here testing. That Harley was not here. He may have been here actually in the test,
but this is his first race weekend.
It's his first race weekend, and I don't think we had this level of rain either. Again, the different levels of rain. How bad is the rain? Is it super wet? Is it just moist? This is pretty damp here right now. We've got a consistent rain, as you said, from about 2 o'clock this morning, John. So, again, this is what I love about this. Every one of these drivers needs the opportunity to run in the rain because, as we know, if they get to IndyCar, wet weather racing is what separates the guys up front from the guys in the back. So
exactly
you've
right.
got to understand this discipline.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all part of racing and road racing, and we do run in the rain. The only time we stop is if there's active lightning in the area, basically, or if the track is so flooded that aquaplaning is an issue. Other than that, we run in the rain as does every other road course in the country, in the world for that matter. So it's just something a skill they have to learn.
You can see that Rodrigo Gonzalez getting pulled back out. He did not get out of the race car. No damage at all, of course, John. He just locked it up. Luckily, he didn't go all the way into the back of Harley because he was almost to the point where he would have made contact with Harley, getting him back on track. They'll get that toe strap pulled off of him. He'll be able to get back rolling again. He will be a couple of laps down currently at the back. Ty Fisher able to continue wherever he was on the racetrack. He is back. He's put his 5th lap in as well. So Fisher losing a lap wherever he was. We had not picked that up on screen, so not sure what happened to Ty, but he's back on the racetrack. And luckily for Gonzalez, he's actually going to just get back on the racetrack before the pace car in the field comes back through to put him down another lap. So at least he's going to get another lap ahead of Harley Keeble, so he'll get that 20th spot. But here comes the rest of the field through. Shout out to the AMR IndyCar safety team. We love having them on our program. Of course, anytime we're, as a support category for an NTT IndyCar Series event, they're there. But we bring them in as well for our USF Juniors. When we have a standalone juniors race, we make sure we have a number of the AMR IndyCar safety crew in here with us because just they know our race cars, they know our drivers, they know what happens, and anytime we get a significant incident, they're there. If it's a hard impact incident where a driver could be injured, they're right there, and obviously they're doctors, firefighters, EMTs, all part of that program. But even more so, they know how to get messes cleaned up. They know how to get cars. They know exactly what to do to get things cleaned up. And there's the machine of Keeble. Definitely impact on the left front and the wing, of course. So that'll car come back. Keeble will be done. And we'll hopefully get back to green flag racing here momentarily.
Yeah, if they can clear that, looks like he's well on the way. If they can clear the rest of the safety vehicles, we might be able to go green this time by. I've not heard anything on the radio yet from race control as to whether that's going to be the case. But
John, let's give a shout out to Thomas Nordquist, the D-Force driver in that number 17 machine. Thomas Nordquist out of Omaha, Nebraska, first year running here in USF Juniors, started all the way back in 12th. And you think about a driver that doesn't have a ton of experience. He's now up into 7th, +5. Of course, one of the drivers in front of him, Keeble, going out, but he's the one that stayed on the racetrack. He gets those positions, and he moved up a couple spots on his own merit as well, at least 3 positions early on. So Nordquist now up into the 7th spot, right behind Pato Gonzalez and right ahead of Hudson Potter. So indeed, challenging conditions for these young drivers. We'll knock a couple of laps here under the yellow. Lots of time still remaining within our 40-minute time window here. Again, 6 laps down. We'll have 14 to go when we come back around. Lights still on the pace car, so we'll put lap 7 in the books when we come back. And kind of based on what we've saw, John, and of course the speed we'll get coming around here, almost 3-minute laps here under the yellow, I would expect we're going to see green flag when we get back around.
Yeah. So hopefully green flag. Yep, that's what we're hearing. Lights out next time by. So that's the order of the day. Hopefully nobody else throws it off, as we've got a little traffic jam coming onto the front straightaway here. Some of these drivers negotiating that puddle there at the apex of 13, but everybody's where they belong.
And I can tell you from experience, and any driver will tell you, the lack of visibility is absolutely unbelievable. What you see on the screen is so much better than what you see when you're in the cockpit. Of course, remember, folks, in your car, you've got windshield wipers.
Right.
You're nice and warm, and
Yep.
with the heater and the defrost going.
Right.
You don't have that. These drivers, of course, swapped out their darker visor, tinted visor for a clear visor for this race. But inevitably, it fogs up a little bit.
Yep.
You've constantly got the rain on there. Maybe you'll use some Rain X or whatever it may be. You might use a tear off, whatever it is. But you're going to get that rain on the visor. It streams away. It's just so tough to see. And again, such a challenge. And think about it. Some of these drivers are 14 years of age. They can't even drive on the road yet. They don't have a road license yet, but
right.
we're going to let them roll out here at 100 plus miles per hour in the toughest conditions possible. This is what we're here to do. We're here to hone these drivers. This is driver development. Every little aspect of motorsports is what we're trying to teach them here throughout their run up the ladder into Indy next, and of course then to IndyCar if possible.
And for those of you who've not watched a lot of road racing or Formula car racing in the wet, you wonder what's that flashing light at the back. That's called a rain light, and that's there for absolutely that reason. When there's heavy spray, that's the only indication that the following driver has that there's a car in front of them. Basically, back in the day, cars didn't run with rain lights, and we had a lot of serious incidents in the wet in those conditions. But that rain light adds a little extra margin of safety, so you can sort of see through that spray that, hey, there's a car over there, and I have to be careful.
And John, that's one of the reasons sometimes if a driver goes off track, the driver behind him follows him right off, because a lot of times you're fixated on that rain light. You're looking for your peripherals. Where am I on the racetrack? Because forward, all you see is spray. You're trying to pick up the peripherals to find out where the braking zone is, where the turn in, picking up all those visual cues. But if you're going into a corner and that rain light keeps going straight, oftentimes you'll follow them through.
And the safety car is staying out.
It is, indeed.
So it looks like we're going to go around one more time behind the safety car.
So let's reset it again. Liam Loiacono with that great run to the outside into the first green flag lap. Surprised a little bit that Vergara didn't run more of the rain line. Loiacono did, and was able to get all the way around the outside. He beat Vergara up into turn number 2. So Loiacono, the Aussie, leading the way right now over Oliver Weldon. Joao Vergara in third. Leonardo Scorpioni in fourth spot. Vito Attila in fifth. Gonzalez sixth. Nordquist seventh. Potter 8th, Cooley 9th, and JT Hoskins rounds out the top 10. 11th is Aspley, 12th Scarborough, 13th Achitov, Countryman and Suko rounding out the top 15. Moss 16th, Collar in 17th, and Diego Guillat in 18th spot. There's Diego right there. He's driven off as well in the number 12. So another little issue there in turn number 1 for Diego Guillat. Got a little aggressive coming through. So he'll continue on, but he's back there in the 18th spot. Last driver on the lead lap, Ty Fisher and Rodrigo Gonzalez, both a lap down now in 19th and 20th. And as we know, the only retirement thus far, the contact in the wall of turn number 2, Harley Keeble.
We're about halfway through the time. This is a 40-minute time-limited race, so we may not get all 20 laps in these damp conditions, and especially with this extended yellow flag situation behind the safety car. So we're just past halfway time-wise, got about 19 minutes left, and we're working race lap 9 of the scheduled 20.
Yeah, we'll get to almost the halfway point when we go back to green. 9 down, 11 to go when we come back around, provided we do go green flag racing. Lights are still flashing on the back of that Honda pace car, and again, pacing our field is the beautiful Honda Civic Type R pace car, the most powerful Honda production vehicle ever sold in the U.S. with a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine producing an incredible 315 horsepower. The smooth and precise 6-speed manual transmission features a revised Rev Match system, helping to maintain stability on corner entry. And a limited slip differential puts the engine's power to the pavement effectively. The Civic Type R leverages Honda's racetrack-proven engineering to deliver extreme performance and passion, both on the road and on the racetrack. I've driven that car. It's a hot rod.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I have my daily driver is a Civic Sport, which is basically that car with the 1.5 liter turbo motor, so about half the horsepower that the big car has. And yeah, it's a rocket ship.
It's fun to drive.
I've had a ride in the Honda Civic Type R, and it's a rocket, no question.
doing a good job leading our crew here right now, and I think waiting to see if it jumps off the track.
Safety cars in the pit
We're going
lane.
racing, folks. Back at it. Loiacono on the throttle early. Weldon, we are back to racing. Put it 9 laps down, and we have now 11 laps to go. Pace cars, you can see, in the pit lane. We are running. Loiacono going way to the outside of the racetrack. Weldon, and no stranger. Oh, a driver's going to go around further back. Another yellow. That is, I believe, Nordquist. Nordquist goes off. And I think that's Hudson Potter to the outside of the racetrack as well. Right back to yellow flag. And that was a couple drivers having trouble. Potter way to the outside of the racetrack. I don't know if there's damage to his car. He may have gotten to the wall on the outside of the corner as well. So an inauspicious start there. Not what we were looking for at all. Drivers getting too aggressive. Coming into turn number 1. And we are back to yellow again. Hate to see this here as the number 17 of Nordquist is now stuck in the gravel trap, trying to get his way out. They'll be able to get him out pretty quickly. I believe Potter may have made some right side contact, John, with the wall. Like I said before, obviously the car going around, Potter not sure where to go. Could have been some contact there. This could be a very quick cleanup, to be honest. But again, we're going to lose another couple of laps here. Trying to go back to green. Loiacono at least able to defend from Oliver Weldon. But that's going to take out the drivers in 7th and 8th. That's going to move Brendan Cooley up into 7th, JT Hoskins to 8th, Connor Aspley to 9th, and to move, I believe, Emma Scarborough into the top 10 as well.
That's great for Emma to get a top 10 finish out of this, perhaps. Still lots of racing left to go. We're just past halfway. 16 and a half minutes remaining on the timing clock as we're working race lap 10.
We've said it many, many times before, yellows breed yellows.
Yep.
It happens, right? Anytime you stack people back up, you're going to run them through turn number 1 like that. They're just not quite ready to make that turn in. The visibility is tough. I don't know whether or not it was maybe a lock up there for Nordquist. Maybe contact from behind sent him into the loop. That's obviously a potential as well. But yeah, contact happening over there in turn number 1. Field comes back across the line again. They'll woe things up here a little bit. There's Liam Loiacono, the Aussie. And if I'm not mistaken, John, you and I talked in qualifying, and I said if there was a driver I thought could have a breakout weekend, it was going to be Liam Loiacono. And a fantastic start there, getting around Vergara. This could be the first win for the young Australian driver for Jay Howard Driver Development. We're not done yet.
Just saw the replay, and it did look like Potter might have gotten into the back of the 17 car of Nordquist. It was difficult to say. Right under the bridge, it looked like there might have been a tap, and that's what set this whole thing off.
We were ready for that, so yeah, I'll say this on the broadcast because if the back of the truck they can show us that one more time. I would love to be able to see that, as we did get the replay there coming down into turn number 1. The crew doing their best to try to get that car of Nordquist back out onto the racetrack. Again, the driver from Nebraska for D-Force Racing was having just a stellar race. I'm sure he'll be gutted for that one. But again, we'll keep an eye on the screen to see whether or not we do get a replay of it again, and whether or not there was contact. Just the way the spin happened, because it wasn't a spin like you were turning into the corner and a counterclockwise spin. It was more of a counterclockwise, like he was setting up for the corner and then got tapped from the back and went clockwise around, away from the corner. That's normally a touch from the back, right, John?
Yeah, that's kind of what I saw.
Yeah.
I just caught it out of the corner of my eye as they gave us that replay. So,
waiting to see whether we not get the replay ourselves. I'm going to do it myself here. I've got the YouTube fired up here. Let's have a look-see here.
Nordquist is back underway.
Good for him. Hey, listen, indeed, obviously not going to be happy with the result, but I'm happy with the fact he's going to get back on the track, because what these drivers need is more experience on track. So indeed, working their way around here, again, behind the safety car. We'll knock these laps down.
Looks like Hudson Potter's car maybe with some damage, and it may be a wrecker's involved. Yeah, he's climbing out of the car. That indicates they're not going to be able to flat tow it. So Hudson Potter's car, unfortunately, will require a wrecker, probably some right front suspension damage from that contact.
We're going to have a little look at it again here. We got the YouTube channel fired up ourselves, waiting for the start. We'll have a look at what potentially happened here further back. Yeah, that's definitely... Maybe not. No, the spin was actually into the corner. So I don't know, because you look in the front of the car of Potter, there's no damage to the car of Potter, at least in the front. The damage came from when he made contact with the wall. Let's have another look at this. We'll rewind it. John and I are having a look on the iPhone here, the old school way of figuring it out. I think it might have been in contact from another driver, actually, potentially.
Yeah, could be. It's hard. It's difficult to say. They're very much in the spray there, so.
visibility not only tough for the drivers but us as well to try to analyze what we saw on the racetrack coming up into the corner. Everybody kind of working their way down into there. Yeah, it wasn't anybody else. I think probably contact between those two drivers indeed. Yeah, Potter very likely got into the back from there. So tough one for sure for Thomas Nordquist, who was having a great run. Contact very likely with Potter into the back of him. And listen, again, with the visibility issues, Potter's in there. The rain light, a little too deep on the brakes. That's all it really takes to get things underway. Tough one for both of those drivers who were running top 10, and both those drivers deserve strong top 10 runs.
Yeah, exactly right. It sounds like a restart may be coming by this time by. That's what they're talking about on the Race Control Network, but nothing official until we see the lights out on the safety car. So Loiacono, your leader, Weldon in second, Vergara, yesterday's winner and the pole sitter, in third. Leonardo Scorpioni has looked racy here as he's running in the fourth spot. The Finn, Attila, then Patricio Gonzalez, first of the Gonzalez brothers. Brendan Cooley in the seventh spot. J.T. Hoskins in eighth. Connor Aspley in ninth. And Emma Scarborough in 10th. As we said, great run for her. And Kaylee Countryman right behind her. As a couple of our female drivers looking to move up into the top 10 here. Michael Suko, Matan Achitov. Then we've got Diego Guiat and Harry Moss with Maddie Kohler in the last car on the lead lap. Good job for Maddie, keeping it clean.
Yeah, that's it, right? Get out there, have a good run. Again, we're running around in the pace car. I'd love to have at least 5 laps, hopefully, of actual racing in these conditions. Tough for those two drivers. Contact early, 11 laps down, still 9 laps remaining. So ideally, we'll dial things in here. And indeed, again, it is Loiacono up front, Weldon in second, Vergara third, Scorpioni fourth, Attila running in the fifth spot, hoping to go back to green flag racing as soon as we can.
Looks like the lights are out on the safety car. He's pulling away just a bit from Liam Loiacono. We'll make sure he dives into the pit lane, and we'll go green once again as we're about to complete race lap 12 with 10 minutes left. Yep, safety car's in the pit lane.
Here they come to get things back underway again. Let's get at it. Lap 12 will go in the books this time by, and again, back to racing. Great job for the AMR IndyCar safety team to get that incident cleaned up. Hey, cross our fingers, folks. Can we get through turn number 1 cleanly this time? Good thus far. Drivers further back giving themselves a little bit of room. I like to see the separation coming into the corner. Just get through cleanly. So tough here with the conditions for the drivers here. And again, just 8 laps remaining in a 20-lap race.
Scorpioni coming up alongside Joao Vargoa. He wants that third spot if he can. He does the over-under, dives down to the inside as they exit the keyhole turn. Scorpioni looking racy here as he's going to tuck into the draft as they make the run down toward turn 4. Vergara guarding that inside line at turn 4, but let's see if Scorpioni can make the outside line work. But Liam Loiacono is gone. As he has got that clear visibility. He's way out in front.
I was going to say, give me that clear view anytime. Over-under coming from Scorpioni. Does he have enough run on the outside? Remember, more grip on the outside. Look at Scorpioni throwing everything at Vergara. Over-under. Can he get it done over here in turn 6? He'll run the outside line. Another over-under for Scorpioni. He's putting everything after. Oh, a little contact there. Coming up right behind them, though, is going to be Attila. He's in the middle of the fight as well. So, indeed, everybody digging in here to try to find some pace. I think they know, listen, on the opening lap like this, I got to get a pass done simply because we're seeing so many incidents. 1 lap may be it. You've got to attack on that opening lap. I'm sure that's what Scorpioni had in his mind. Big wide run for Vergara, and he'll go off on the outside of the corner. Off in turn number 10 and 11. The outside of 11, he'll lose at least 4 spots. So the driver who won yesterday, just a minor miscue, John, coming out of Thunder Valley. It's all it takes. 2, 3, maybe 4 drivers streaming by as he went 4 wheels off.
That puts Scorpioni up into third spot. Pato Gonzalez right behind him. And then Attila. So Gonzalez got around Attila as well because he was fighting with Scorpioni just a couple corners ago. Then Brendan Cooley as Vergara drops all the way back to 7th.
Again, tough one there for Joao Vergara. Remember, coming in the 3rd driver in the points, only 9 points behind Scorpioni, so he's fallen back a bit. This will be good for Scorpioni. As remember, issue as well for Ty Fisher. He's down in 17th. More drivers have gone off. That's one of the VRD drivers off as well, and I believe one of the Jay Howard cars. That's Vergara. Vigar actually off over in the keyhole, so it goes from bad to worse. And look at the rear wing. The rear wing, something has happened there and has actually flopped down. So that is not only, talk about no downforce, it's going to be opposite.
He's got lift, basically.
He's got lift on that car. That is going to be very tough. Talk about upsetting the balance of the machine. Unbelievable. That is tough.
Makes you wonder if that might have predated his off over here, if that wing had come dislodged for whatever reason.
Agreed. Yeah, there's the number 9 right there who's having trouble, JT Hoskins. Another top 10 not going to come here today for Hoskins as he slows a little bit on the racetrack here.
He was the other car, I think, that went off up there in the keyhole.
Indeed. Yeah, you're right.
But we're still running green here as both those cars were able to rejoin.
Well, John, let's restack it when they come back around here because Liam Loiacono continues to lead. Oh, and there goes Weldon. Weldon's made the mistake this time. He's gone off. He comes back cleanly, but he's not going to have a big run. This is going to allow Scorpioni to close up on him, but this is given the gap that Loiacono needs. Big lead, and we got yellow, full course yellow, I believe. Wow, that was big for Weldon because I think a Scorpioni was going to go hardcore on it. Yellow flag flying. Loiacono comes to a slow behind the pace car, which jumps out in front there. As another full course yellow. Unsure why at this point here, but indeed full course yellow on the racetrack.
Here we go.
Tough stuff. And it's the number 92 of Brendan Cooley, who is in the top 10. Cooley off the racetrack as well. Vigar is going to take this opportunity to come into pit lane. Good call there to see if they can't fix that wing.
Yeah, because that car's got to be just treacherous.
Oh, my goodness.
With those conditions. Zero downforce, basically, on the back of that car. So Cooley, unfortunately, beaching it. Hard to tell from this angle where that is. I'm guessing the keyhole, but I can't be sure.
So here we go. It is, let's restack it for you. And listen, are they going to, they're not even jumping in. Oh, they are. Okay, I was going to say, where are they? No, they were just going to grab themselves a bolt to get screwed into the wing there. So the wing is mounted to the point where there's obviously a kind of a pivot point in the front, and then you can change the wing angle in the back with a couple of different holes. You can see them knocking it up as high as they can right now to give him more downforce. Of course, in the wet, you're going to have the wings cranked in to try to get as much downforce as possible. So that's going to drop the driver who rolled in here after a win into third place in points. He was 9 points back and now finds himself near the tail of the field. His teammate Ty Fisher, or rather his challenger Ty Fisher, who was second place in points, is now down in 17th.
Yeah, I think we're at turn 9 here.
Turn 9, yeah. And listen, another easy place to go off. You come through turn number 8 over the hill, or 7 over the hill. 8's the right-hander, and all you kind of lose a little bit on the entry, trying to carry speed into 9. It's been a tough weekend for Brendan Cooley. He's had some issues yesterday as well. Was in a great battle for the final position in the top 10 with Harley Keeble and Diego Guillat, but issues there put him again back to 12th. Was having a good run, and with the drivers making mistakes in front of him, he had moved his way up, I want to say, into maybe 6th or 7th. But that issue going off the racetrack there is going to drop him all the way down the field now to 16th position. So here's your new top 10 as the crew going to work there to get Cooley back on track. Loiacono still with the lead. Oliver Weldon dodging a bullet there because he had gone off the racetrack in the carousel. It was right in the crosshairs of Leonardo Scorpioni for a potential pass. So Weldon still second, Scorpioni in third, Gonzalez in fourth spot, Attila fifth, Connor Aspley in sixth. They're dragging that machine out there. And you wonder why there we go. There they go. Now we're rolling them. So Connor Aspley up into sixth spot for pole position. Absolute rookie to motorsports. Has stayed out of trouble. He's in sixth. Emma Scarborough up into seventh. Michael Succo eighth. Diego Guillat in ninth. And Kaylee Countryman now into the top 10. 14 laps down. They just pulled him out. 100% around at least one more time. So 15 laps down. So 5 to go max. It'll be 4 to go max, actually. We come back around and go green this time. There's Cooley there. He's back underway. So only if the crews are able to get back to their stations do we go green this time. So we may have 4. Very likely we'll have 3 laps to go.
Yeah, exactly right. As we're working race lap 16 right now, but we're going to run out of time before we run out of laps. 3 minutes and a half still remaining on the clock. So if we can go green this time by, looks like we might have a green-white checker here. I give a tip of the hat to Scorpioni, by the way. When he saw Weldon go off. That was just as the yellow flag was coming out. You know, he could have tried to dive in there and take that position, but I think he saw the yellow flag and did not want to be called for passing under the yellow, even though Weldon had gone off track. So we'll see how that shakes out as the cars continue to work their way down the straightaway, just past the kink, that right-hand juke right in the middle of the long back straightaway down into turn 4 here. Looks like the lights are out on the safety car, so we are going to get a green here, and it may only be for one more lap. We'll see.
Yeah, we're ready to go. Let's get back at it again. If we indeed come back to it, it will be 4 laps to go. Lap 16 will go in the books here under the yellow again. There's been a number of yellows here for drivers who have had issues on the track, and we kind of talked about that earlier. We previewed the fact that it was not going to be a surprise if some of these younger drivers in the series would have some issues here in the wet. Some of the ones I maybe not expected, Harley Keeble, I didn't expect that mistake, but that was early again in really the first couple of fact-finding reconnaissance laps at speed. Where am I going to be able to brake? He just pushed over the edge a little bit, and that happens.
And in fairness, it is still raining here, so it is the track is continually getting wetter. So, you know, there's change literally from lap to lap here as the rain continues to fall. So those conditions are changeable for sure. And it may be that Keeble just kind of overestimated how much grip he was going to have. Here they come.
Yeah, Liam Loiacono had an opportunity to pull away. He's probably the one that hurt the most on that one because he 100% was going to be able to get it done. Big roadside run for Loiacono. And there, the pace car's gone in, and we are back underway. Loiacono was going to have a big lead after the issue for Weldon. This is a blessing for Weldon to be able to attack again. Loiacono back at it. We are green flag racing to the outside again. Loiacono knows that outside line. It's worked for him before. A couple of drivers thinking inside, a little bit further back. So the field streaming its way through turn number 1. Look at this battle right now. Weldon looking for that first victory. Loiacono right there. Weldon thinking about throwing it up the inside into the keyhole. Loiacono holds the spot. Diamond it around. Get to the outside of the racetrack. Looking for grip. Searching for that grip on this racetrack. Downhill, off-camber turn number 2. Such a tough track. And again, here we go. Loiacono going to take full advantage of the clean racing in front of him. He has got no spray whatsoever. Everybody else showered with rain as they work their way down into turn number 4. You can see Weldon pulling out just enough. He's not there to challenge, just to give himself
visibility,
better visibility coming down into the corner.
Yeah, you'll see these drivers kind of offset each other as they work their way down the straightaway, just looking for that clear visibility.
Oh, talk about the slide there for Loiacono, John. He is working it hard. He's getting pressured big time here for Weldon, and he was all up on the throttle coming to the top of turn number 5.
Coming up the hill there at 7 and 8, then down the hill once again. Oh, Loiacono gets sideways. Is that going to open the door for Weldon for his first win? But Loiacono saves it, man. Great bit of driving from Loiacono at the point.
Huge save. And listen, you had a good look, folks, at the parts of the undulations of this racetrack. We talked about how tough it is. You come back down the hill, the car's sliding a bit. Loiacono trying to roll back on the throttle. And John had mentioned, it continues to rain. The more rain we get, the more water, the more puddles. Big outside run, Loiacono again, running the outside line. Weldon keeping the pressure up. Put lap 17 in the books when we come back around here. Going to watch yourself coming onto the front straightaway. Loiacono with finally a little bit of breathing room. Whoa, checker flag. We're throwing the checker because of the time limit. I didn't check the timeout. And Loiacono almost throws it away on the last lap. We went to a timed race. And Loiacono going to get the first win. John picking up the checkered flag at start-finish. Liam Loiacono winning a wet race number 2 here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. His first victory in USF Juniors competition. What a run, what a final lap. The challenge there is we were right on the time limit. He's still playing with that throttle.
He's having some fun now.
Don't spit it out, Liam. Keep it on the racetrack now. I know you're celebrating. I love it. Great one. Hey, listen, shout out again to Liam. We talked about it in qualifying. I expected he may have been the driver that could be a breakout weekend for him. I didn't know it was going to come in the wet weather, but it speaks volumes for the talent of this young Australian driver. Again, when we talk about the fact that when it's wet, that's when the drivers really stand out. For him to come to the forefront here and put in a flawless performance. You saw him just working the car. Look at him. He's still working it. He's literally having fun right now in the wet.
He's doing a little drifting here. And look at his rear wing. That is almost flat. I don't think they cranked in a lot of downforce on that car to give him a little more momentum on the straightaways, and it looks like that strategy paid off. Jay Howard, obviously no stranger of racing in the rain, so his crew definitely may have given him something good to work with here.
He had the outside front row starting spot. spot. If you can get the lead early, you're going to have the visibility. We want you to pull away on the straightaways. We don't want to get you challenged like that.
Yep.
And we're going to trust you that with low downforce,
Yep.
you're going to be able to handle it. That's really darn impressive, if you ask me.
Yep. No question about it.
Okay, John, I'm going to head down to Victory Lane right now. How about a full field rundown?
Will do. Liam Loiacono taking his first win on the season. That's going to pay him some big benefits as he jumped up into 5th on the points table on the strength of his finish yesterday. So that will close the gap to those top 4. Right behind him, Oliver Weldon. So disappointing for Oliver. Also still looking for his first win as a pair of rookies on the top 2 steps of the podium. Leonardo Scorpioni, a workmanlike drive into that 3rd spot in the 55 car. Right behind him, the first of the Gonzalez brothers, Patricio, in the 15, comes home in 4th. And then the Finn, Vio Attila, in the 14 car, comes home in 5th spot. Connor Aspley in the 27. A great run for Connor as he started a little deeper in the field. Back in 15th position, comes home with a top 6 finish. Well done for him. Same story for Michael Succo. He started 18th and made a pass on the final lap to take 7th spot. Emma Scarborough, most likely a season best finish for her in the 26 car. Diego Guiot comes home in 9th. Kaylee Countryman, a top 10 finish for Kaylee. Great job for her in that number 90 car. JT Hoskins makes a pass on the final lap as he moves up into 9th position, into 12th position in the number 9 car. 13th is the 5 of Harry Moss. Right behind him, Joao Vargoa. Again, one of the last cars on the lead lap after that miscue after the restart. Matty Colleran comes home as the last car on the lead lap in the number 29 car. And then these cars that had trouble, Ty Fisher, who went off early but continued to circulate. Unfortunately, he'll finish a lap down in 16th. That is going to put a dent in his championship standings. But hey, we're only halfway through the season. Lots of recovery still to come. Rodrigo Gonzalez as well was able to resume after an off-course excursion. Same for Thomas Nordquist and Brendan Cooley, who will finish 17th, 18th, and 19th respectively. Hudson Potter, unfortunately, unable to continue after his off. And the same story for Harley Keeble, spinning out there at the keyhole turn in the early stages of this one under these very, very challenging conditions. Rob Howden making his way down to the victory podium, and just as soon as he gets set up, we'll send it down to him to cover the podium celebration here. For those of you here at the racetrack, plenty of racing still to come today here as part of the O'Reilly Auto Parts 4 Hours of Mid-Ohio weekend. Our first big spectator weekend here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in our 65th year of racing at this historic facility. Safety crews out doing what they can to blow away some of this standing water in a couple places around the racetrack as we're getting ready for more racing coming up later today. This is the first race of the day here for those of you on the stream. The field working its way into the pit lane, and teams from the VP Challenge making their way onto the pit lane, getting ready for the next race. Looks like Rob Howden has mounted the podium. Rob, we'll send it down to you.
John, thank you so much. Indeed, underway to cap off our doubleheader for USF Juniors here this weekend at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. As you can see, a very tough race for these drivers in USF Juniors. Incredibly difficult conditions. For the drivers coming up here, of course, on the podium, well deserving of that honor, able to challenge their way through. Finishing in the 3rd spot today, folks, for Zanella Racing, Leonardo Scorpioni. Another podium for the young driver out of Florida. Great job for him, P3. Let's bring up the driver coming home in 2nd. The podiums keep racking up for this driver here as well. These guys up front in the points keep getting the points they need to stay in the championship fight. Finishing in 2nd spot for VRD Racing, it's Oliver Weldon. Great job, Oliver. Challenged through the whole time. The race really came down to the opening lap, folks. The driver from the off pole able to take the spot. It's his first win here in USF Juniors competition. Came in tough conditions that showed his skill. The winner today for J. Howard Driver Development, Liam Loiacono. Liam, congratulations, man. We knew that first win was coming sooner or later. Talk about how tough those conditions were.
Yeah, it was really tricky. I mean, that opening lap, I just had to get the job down and try and work out the conditions for the rest of the lap. yeah, it's very tricky without someone out front to judge the conditions. So it was sort of going into the braking zones and hoping that it sticks. So yeah, it did.
How's the emotion to get that first win?
Oh, it's awesome, especially in these conditions. I mean, I'm pretty used to these. At the end of last year in Formula Ford, that's all we were doing. So yeah, I got pretty adapted to them. So yeah.
We talked about how tough the conditions were. I think the best lap you had might have been the cool down lap. You were drifting the thing all over the place. Seems like the car control's there.
Yeah. I was just seeing how far I could push it. So yeah.
Who do you want to thank today?
Yeah, I want to thank Jay, Joe. The car was awesome. Heli Material Handling America. They're on board this year, and that's the only way I can do it. So thanks to them.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
For the first time in his USF Pro career, folks, on the top of the podium, Liam Loiacono, winning here in USF Juniors. A fantastic performance in absolutely treacherous conditions out there for the young drivers here in USF Juniors. Again, Liam, that win's going to move him a little bit closer. He was significantly back from the point leader who finished on the podium beside him in the third spot. So he gains a bit of positions there. Loiacono definitely not out of the championship chases. We're now only to the halfway point of this season. We're actually back here at Mid-Ohio for the next race for USF Juniors on the July 4th weekend. From there, Road America in Portland to wrap up the championship. Remember, they're all trying to win that scholarship to move to USF 2000 next year. And it just seems to be the cream rising to the top in this category. The drivers in the top 5, that's essentially where they've been finishing here for the first half of the season. So much consistency. We talk about the fact that both Scorpione and Weldon only off the podium one time so far on the year in 8 races. So such consistency, very talented drivers this year in USF Juniors, and excited to see what they're going to be able to do in years to come. First opportunity to race here for these drivers in the wet conditions at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, a track that is very tough in the wet, no doubt about it. You have to really pedal your way around here. But again, a big victory for Jay Howard Driver Development as they get the win with Liam Loiacono today here. Fantastic run for the Aussie. Talked about his experiences in Formula Ford racing. Sue, are we going to the champagne right now? All right, guys, grab that champagne, head out. Time to grip it and rip it, guys. Celebrate it. It's fun. Let's get at it. Liam Loiacono, folks. He's going to get the hose down from Scorpione and Weldon. Well-deserved Liam Loiacono. Coming away with the win once again, an Australian on top of the podium in USF Pro Championship competition. A tough day all around here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, but these young drivers persevered and came away with crucial podium finishes. We're halfway through the season now, folks. Those of you who joined us on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel, hope you enjoyed that one. It was a tough one, a little truncated with a bunch of different yellow flags, but when the going got tough, the tough, of course, worked their way to the front. Fantastic run for Liam Loiacono. He'll enjoy the spoils of victory here down in Victory Lane at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Lots of racing, as we know, still to come here on a Sunday in Ohio. Fantastic run for Jay Howard and Liam Loiacono. We now look forward in 2 weeks to the event at Road America, USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000 at America's National Park of Speed. We'll join the NTT IndyCar Series. All that coverage, of course, here on the YouTube channel. Hope you enjoy it. Again, folks, that wraps things up. From a wet Mid-Ohio, on behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.